And we're about to lose ZUBIMENDI to Arsenal, by the way. According to David Ornstein of The Athletic, Martin ZUBIMENDI to Arsenal is at a very advanced stage, and the feeling inside the club is that he will join this summer. So, won't be ZUBIMENDI coming in. You know, the only player after 3 years of searching that was deemed good enough to come into us is now going to be joining a rival for the title. Well done, lads. Great fucking work. We couldn't convince him to sign, but Arsenal can. It's just shocking. We lost ZUBIMENDI and Marmoush this season already. What are we playing at here? Yeah, the ZUBIMENDI or the Marmoush thing is going to be a real tough one to take, because he's legit a really, really good player. But look, if the asking price there was 300 grand a week, well, we know that FSG aren't paying 300 grand a week for Marmoush. So, Nollipop said, I know we love having the heart of underdogs, but it doesn't mean we can't buy some star players. There's some weird notion out there somewhere that Liverpool don't go out and buy stars. Like, there's some horseshit notion that that's not the way we do things, which is just absolute nonsense. Liverpool have broken transfer records before. The only reason that we don't do it again now is it's not because players aren't available. And whoever tried to sell us that pup over the years is absolute nonsense. Players are available if you go strong enough to get them. When you're trying to cheap out, well, is it any doubt you don't get the big stars? Like, these clowns made a mess of the club. These clowns came in and let the Caicedo situation develop and then backed it up by embarrassing us and losing Lavia as well in the same window. We're supposed to believe that these are measured, articulate people that take the emotion out of decision making. Well, explain to me then how Lavia wasn't worth 50 million until you lost Caicedo, and then he was suddenly worth 60 million, but you still didn't get him. Explain that to me. Explain to me how we continuously underinvest in the squad and overachieve on the pitch, but we're supposed to think that we're going to be okay in March time when the players are exhausted. I'm fed up of it. I'm fed up of being made to feel like a prick every single summer for calling out the lack of investment and being told I'm ungrateful, I'm not a real fan, to support somebody else, that I don't get it. I do get it. I totally understand it. The owners are cheap. And everybody else has lied to you. Everybody else has looked down the camera lens or into their microphone and absolutely lied through their gritted fucking teeth to you because they want to make money. And they need to be held to account. Because if not, this is going to be the same story next season. We're going to have the same conversation. You'll be sold and promised a huge summer now, and all the journalists will be out in force to tell us how it doesn't matter that we've been knocked out of the Champions League and lost the cup final in 1 week. We should all be grateful. Marmoush chose money over becoming part of the Egyptian throne at Anfield. No, he didn't. There was no offer from Liverpool. Can't sign for a club that doesn't make an offer for you. So he chose the option that was on the table for him. The club that put up the money for him. If VVD leaves, who's the best replacement? We were overachieving with small squad and investment. Yes, Henry, I think that's spot on, mate. And overachieving is okay. Like, don't get me wrong. But it shouldn't be a business model. Do you remember when we signed Arna? Do you remember reading the articles about why Arna was chosen? And it was because he overachieved with Feyenoord with a smaller budget against bigger clubs, as well as his tactical nous. But that was one of the things that they were shouting from the rooftops. That he can work miracles with fuck all money. And now we're surprised that the owners who brought a manager in were part of the reason of bringing him in is that he overachieves. And now we're supposed to be surprised that they're not spending. Carl said, the right player is never available, followed by the irony of Kvaratskhelia being class against us and losing the PSG, says it all. Yep. I remember Jurgen Klopp said the only problem with Jude Bellingham was that he wasn't available. And then he was available and we were nowhere. I remember Jurgen Klopp telling us that we couldn't improve on the players that we have at Liverpool and our midfield was brilliant until he ran out to try and get Arthur Melo at the end of the window in desperation. I remember our season being on the line in the Champions League qualification stakes and Alisson's header saved us because we didn't buy a centre-back because owners are cheap and we brought in Ozan Kabak and Ben Davies on loan. That's your owners. That's your owners right there. Cheapness. And the irony of it all is they're pissing money against the wall doing it. Arthur Melo, loan fee and wages wasted. Money spent on Chiesa, wasted. Ben Davies, Ozan Kabak, money wasted. Loan fees wasted. Just a fucking joke. And cheap. But again, some people buy this nonsense that no one's available. You're right, the right player is never available, Cal, because we won't pay for it. And look at the time we did spend. Twice in these owners' history at our club, we've spent serious money. Once was when we got the Coutinho money, and the second time was when Champions League qualification had failed the season before and we were in the Europa League. And then John finds his wallet and goes out and spends the money. I think we did a £90 million season net on spending to get us back into that Champions League. Now we're back into the Champions League. We've a new manager, and you find me any top European club that bring a new manager in and don't back him in the market. But we did. Even though we had months to plan because we knew Jurgen was leaving. So it wasn't like they sacked him at the end of the year and then had to go looking for a coach. We knew we had the coach coming in. We knew we had the sporting director coming in. We knew we had Edwards back. We knew the contracts were number one in their inbox, and they've done fucking nothing. Nothing. Again, am I wrong? Am I wrong? So where is the plan? Where's the succession planning for the lads? It's just not there because they're cheap. Manchester City had a shit first half of the season, and they go out there and spend £180 million. That's the club that wants to win, whether we think it's right or wrong, or we can argue about where that money comes from or whatever, but it's ambition, not us. No, we get told somehow by these absolute fucking spoofers that it's brave to do nothing, to hold the nerve. They have some nerve, all right, but they're not holding it. They have some fucking nerve thinking they can keep getting away with it. Nolly Pop said, but FSG will spend 100 mil for Boston. Look, I don't mind what they do in Boston or Liverpool. Like, what they do in Boston's not my concern. What they do at Liverpool as a Liverpool fan is my concern. And it's never been a case that we can't spend money. This myth needs to be crushed. Liverpool have always had the ability to spend money. It's been a conscious decision not to do it. Now look, on the refresh thing that Gio, I want to bring this back up. Because there's some validity to this, mate. Of course there is. But here's what gets me, Gio, right? If we agree here that refresh is needed, where's the honesty to the fans? Why manipulate us all season? Telling us that you're trying to renew Virgil and Mo and Trent, but it's difficult. You're trying to renew Canade, but it's difficult. Diaz, but it's difficult. Just be honest and say you don't want them. Because lying to us, it's just going to make us even more frustrated. Because we're not idiots. We can see that you don't want some of the lads here. But just own the fucking decision. Like this pussyfooting around Trent as well. Trent should have been called out and given a deadline to make his damn mind up a long time ago. And anybody who thinks he hasn't made his mind up a long time ago, I think, is delusional as well. It doesn't take you 10 months to decide if you want to be in England or Spain. I've said this over and over again. You can't keep expecting Virgil and Mo to play like superheroes and then you show no faith in them whatsoever. You don't think they're good enough to keep around at the level they're at. So you're not going to pay them, but you want to buy in from them? It's human nature. I keep coming back to the same phrase. But these people can be professionals all they want. Human nature is that you've got concerns, you've got fears for your family's futures, where your kids are going to school, where you're going to be living. Do you have to up sticks and move to a new city? That's going to play on anybody's mind. Anybody's, no matter how professional you are. Newcastle played like title challengers and we were like the underdogs due to exhaustion. I don't blame slotting the players. It's on FSG. Villa were able to get Asensio on loan, no deals available. There was plenty of options available, my man, you're right. All I can say is I'm never going to forget that line that was written to say that FSG and Edwards are holding their nerve, doing the brave and bold thing. I'm never going to forget that because it is the most beta bullshit line I've ever seen a journalist write in my life.